So time for Heat 2 for Minimax. Let's have a look at the starting grid. On pole position, it will be Jacob Ashcroft, who won the opening heat earlier on this morning. Nikita Lubimov from Estonia will be alongside on the front row. Lukas Stoddard and Albert Friend on row 2. Zdenek Babicek and Max Endicott on row 3. Maxim Bobrishov and Oliver Warner, row number 4, with Cole Denham and Felipe Reyes completing the top 10. Then it's Patrikas Jokius and Rory Armstrong, row 6. Jakub Kubera and Angelina Simons Torres on row 7. Row 8, it's Alexander Van Meeuwen and Christian Segerson. Kai Clark, Len Abbas, Vitek Kubera and Vic van Kampenhout round out the top 20. Completing the 31-strong grid, it will be Adrien Stions, Bran van der Weyken, Ryan Gandor, Jeff Verbeek, Andreas Jellerup, Sigurd Stubberup, Fredriksson, Kieran Stewart, Isaac Barker, Unto Olavi Lakonen, Charles Kitely, and at the back of the grid, Ryan Rivers. So once the drivers have completed their sighting lap, it will be on to the formation lap we go, ahead of 7 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. Some great racecraft showcased by the youngest drivers from as young as 9 up until the age of 11 in this class. We do have one driver who is 9 years of age. That is Jeff Verbeek from Belgium in the 126 entry, running with GKS Levens Power. The team based out of this circuit has run quite a few drivers, including Robin Freins and Jensen Button, to name but just a couple of drivers. So the Minimax drivers quickly getting into formation. They want to nail the start first time. That is incredibly crucial at this stage of the competition. So the higher up the order you finish, the less points you score. Meaning the higher up the ranking after the heats you are, that puts you in a good standing point for tomorrow's pre-final. So it's Ashcroft and Lubimov on the front row. They now make their way through the 12th and final corner, keeping us waiting and anticipating as they exit out of that corner. Into the tram lines, revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? The second Minimax heat is underway. Good start once again by Ashcroft and also Stoddard looking to get up the inside already. 3-4 abreast throughout the halfway point of the field. Everyone's managed to get through so far. 3 wide at the back end of the field, as Ashcroft has already scarpered away to get a 4-kart length lead. Send up the inside. That was more than likely a Dan Holland racing kart I just spotted. Going through into turn number 6. As 2 wide at points. As, oh no, my goodness, that was one of the GKS karts. Might have been Alexander Van Meeuwen that has just bumped over the curbs. Going through into the exit out of turn 7 chicane and into turn number 8. Got away with that one, did the youngster. And someone has got a very heavily indented front fairing. So at the moment, the drivers now making their way to complete the opening lap. It's Lukas Stoddard who is in second position. Then it is Cole Denham from the UK who rounds out the top 3 in the 162 entry. Great start from him. Albie Friend in 4th. Jokius from Lithuania now up into 5th ahead of Maxim Bobrishov from the United Arab Emirates. Max Endicott, Jakub Kubera, Nikita Lubimov all the way down in 9th ahead of Felipe Reyes. So not exactly the start for the 112 from Estonia. But there are your drivers in 2nd and 3rd position. Ashcroft's gap after the opening lap, no surprise there, was 0.6 of a second. That could climb if those behind him start battling away, and they already are starting to do so. Cole Denham trying to get past Lukas Stoddard through turn 9. The Belgian very quick to counteract that. Kai Clark up into 14th. Angelina Simons Torres from Spain rounds out the top 15. 2 minutes down, 2 laps now completed, and Ashcroft seems to extend that gap once again. It now is 1 second after 2 laps. He's done a Sebastian Vettel, like back in the old days at Red Bull. but a great move by Cole Denham up the inside of Lucas Stoddard, and Albert Friend also gets through. So Lucas Stoddard in 2 corners loses 2 places, dropping from 2nd position down to 4th. And a nice send up the inside there. That was Nikita Lubimov on Felipe Reyes. So the Estonian back up into 9th place. And we've already had a time penalty issued to Bran van der Weyken in the 196 entry. 2 wheels out of the tram lines during the formation. Until the red lights go out, you cannot break that formation. It's 3 seconds for 2 wheels out of the tram lines. It's 5 seconds if you're all 4 wheels out of formation on the start before the lights go out. In the meantime, Jakub Kubera is being closed in on by Maxim Bobrishov from the UAE, who's down to 7th. Max Endicott holding station in 8th. Nikita Lubimov in 9th. Felipe Days rounds out the top 10. Rory Armstrong now into 13th behind Oliver Warner. As now Lubimov goes for a move up the inside through turn 6. That's on Max Endicott and gets through on the 188. Down the back straight once again. Halfway on the timer has been completed. Just under 3.5 minutes to go. And the lead that Jacob Ashcroft now has over DHR teammate Cole Denham is 1.1 seconds. That could be extending depending on how hard Albert Friend from Strawberry Racing is going to challenge him. Angelina Simons Torres gets up to 14th, past Kai Clark. Adrien Stions and Charles Kitely round out the top 20. 4 minutes down, 3 to go plus a lap. Jacob Ashcroft now extends his lead, pumps in another fastest lap of the race, and there is Albert Friend up the inside of Cole Denham to take 2nd position. And in the meantime, there's been another change. Jokius has lost out to Jakub Kubera. That was for 5th position through turn 2. Now Albert Friend has got to start reeling in Jacob Ashcroft. But with 2 minutes and 38 seconds still on the clock, plus an additional lap remaining, sometimes that can be a bit of a tall order if the driver in front is about 1.2 seconds up the road. But never say never, you keep on pushing. 100% flat chat, flat out, right up until the checkered. Charles Kitely up now into 18th, ahead of Adrien Stions, and is battling away with the likes of Sigurd Stubberup Fredriksson from Denmark. As there's now a 3-way scrap for 2nd position, which is being led by Albert Friend. There is Maxim Bobrishov ahead of Nikita Lubimov. And just behind them, see who we've got there, because they are changing positions hand over fist. Rory Armstrong's dropped to 15th, unfortunately, as both Kai Clark and Angelina Simons Torres have got past the youngster from Downpatrick in Northern Ireland. And now another attempted overtake this time. And that was Bobrishov being overtaken by Lubimov in the process through turn number 6. And, oh my goodness me, there's drivers going left, they're going right. Adrien Stions was definitely hugging the inside line. And this is not getting any easier for these drivers, because now, once they get into this kind of situation, you get that accordion effect, and drivers are going to fight tooth and nail. Charles Kitely, I think, has just made a move there. And that was on a GGM kart, and that was on Angelina Simons Torres. 60 seconds remain. Ashcroft still leads. His lead now is nearly 1.4 seconds. Albert Friend and Cole Denham still battling away over P2. Lucas Stoddard, Nikita Lubimov now back up into 5th place. A 3-way scrap behind Angelina Simons Torres. That is the likes of Christian Segerson, Kai Clark and Adrien Stions. They are battling away over 16th position. And there is Rory Armstrong. It's not been an easy one for the youngster in this particular race. Ended up on the road being in the top 3. Had a great race, but it can just go to show as there's a bit of a drama there. That was for Kai Clark. Might have got a little touch from behind going into the turn 7 braking zone. And then up the inside of him goes the 153 of Isaac Barker from the UK. So Kai Clark not having a good one. But sometimes it's not always about what happens in the heats, it's always what happens in the finals. As Denny Babacek from the Czech Republic gets through on Max Endicott, that's for P7. Final lap now underway And Jacob Ashcroft is a second and a half up the road from Albert Friend. So this is where Albert Friend is just making sure he gets his consistent high runs of scores, as in low scores, because as I said earlier, the higher up the grid you finish, the lower your points tally will be. If Jacob Ashcroft sweeps the board, that basically gives him 0 points and puts him at the head of the field going into the pre-finals tomorrow. And still, Cole Denham is trying to put the frighteners on Albert Friend, but what this has done is brought in Lucas Dorder. One more corner remains. Ashcroft is going to take the victory. He powers out of the final corner and will get the checkered. Cole Denham with a last gasp move up the inside on Albert Friend, but that could give the run to Lucas Dorder to get third. No, it doesn't. Albert Friend takes second. Cole Denham takes third. Lucas Dorder takes fourth. Nikita Lubimov comes back fighting to finish in fifth, as there's an absolute swarm of Minimax drivers across the line. And to be honest with you, a lot of excitement in that race, and every single one of the 31 drivers completed it all. Jacob Ashcroft, 2 for 2. The youngster, the 11-year-old from Weston-super-Mare, untouchable so far over heat state. Albert Friend and Cole Denham make it a British top 3 lockout after 8 laps of racing. Lucas Dorder, Nikita Lubimov, Jakub Kubera, Denny Babacek, Max Endicott, Maxim Bobrishov, and Oliver Warner, provisionally your top 10. Felipe Reyes, Patrikas Jokius from Lithuania. Charles Kitely started from the back end of the grid again, finishes 13th, ahead of Rory Armstrong, and Angelina Simons Torres from Spain, completing the top 15. Alexander Van Meeuwen, Isaac Barker, Christian Stegerson, Kai Clark, Glenn Abbas round out the top 20, with Sigurd Stubberup, Fredriksson, Vitek Kubera, Adrian Stions, Ryan Rivers, Vic Van Kampenhout, Ryan Gandor, Jeffrey Beek, Andreas Jederup, Kieran Stewart, Bran van der Weyken, and Unto Olavi Lakonen rounding out the 31 strong that all finished all 8 laps of racing, covered by 18.9 seconds at the checkered flag. Once again, the Minimax drivers would just focus and concentrate on the task at hand to go for broke in the second heat. Final bits of advice from mechanics ahead of what was going to be an enthralling second Minimax heat, with Denny Babacek definitely putting his feet up there on the steering wheel. Albie Friend getting his gloves fitting nicely, with jockeys from Lithuania and Bobrishov from the UAE deciding to stand out of the karts. Jacob Ashcroft there making himself feel a little bit more comfortable in the seat as the revs rise and the lights went out for heat number 2. It was a good start from the right-hand side of the grid, or the left-hand side, of your screens at home, as Albert Friend again tried to keep it pinned to, well, Nikita Lubimov and Albert Friend tried to keep it pinned around the outside through turn number 2. And everyone made it safely through the first corner, but that was the moment for Alexander Van Meeuwen. Not too sure what happened, but it's good to see that his race helmet is as bright as the livery on his GKS Lemons Power Esprit chassis, but he had a bit of a scare there. Nikita Lubimov, in the meantime, would make some steady progress, having got past Max Endicott and Felipe Reyes, amongst others. Jacob Ashcroft would constantly continue to dominate proceedings as Albert Friend went into battle with Cole Denham, and as the 191 from Strawberry Racing would make sure he got through for second position and would try and chase him down. Denny Babacek with a nice send up the inside of Max Endicott through the 12th and final corner of this 1,360-metre circuit here at Karting Genk. And that was just part of the show that we saw for the Minimax drivers, but Jacob Ashcroft still continues his dominant run in the Minimax class. Albert Friend taking second, and then Cole Denham and Lucas Dorder rounding out the top 4, with Nikita Lubimov from Estonia completing the top 5 overall out of 31 drivers that completed the race.